The biological cliff may be real, but you don't have to sprint toward it. Around age 50, something strange and unsettling happens inside your body. In a massive proteomic study tracking thousands of people, researchers found that aging doesn't just unfold in a smooth, linear decline. Instead, it surges in biological waves. One of the biggest spikes happens right around midlife. Hundreds of proteins involved in inflammation, repair, metabolism, and cellular stress suddenly shift their expression. It's like your internal settings quietly switch from maintenance mode to slow-motion emergency, and you didn't even get a notification. But here's the good news. That tipping point isn't a hardwired collapse. The changes may feel sudden, but the buildup begins years earlier. And so does the opportunity to intercept them. The science is clear. If you want to slow aging at 50, the real work starts before then, in your 30s and 40s. You don't need to become a biohacker or live in a cryogenic pod. You just need to start with the basics and layer in what science is revealing about emerging therapies. First and foremost, let's talk food. Diet is arguably your most powerful tool in delaying the molecular shifts of aging. You don't need to obsess over calorie counting, but you do need to understand the role of chronic inflammation and insulin resistance in aging acceleration. Excess sugar, processed carbs, and inflammatory fats, hello seed oils, are all culprits. Anti-aging diets emphasize whole, unprocessed foods, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, colorful fruits, omega-3, rich fats, legumes, and a diversity of fibers that support the gut microbiome. Protein is critical too, not just for muscle, but for keeping your repair processes robust. Aim for plant-forward, but not protein-starved. Think Mediterranean, but with an edge. Then there's movement, less about aesthetics, more about molecular signaling. Regular exercise increases levels of anti-inflammatory cytokines, boosts mitochondrial function, improves DNA repair, and keeps your metabolic pathways humming. But intensity matters. The sweet spot for longevity appears to be a combination of strength training to preserve lean mass and bone density, moderate cardio to keep the heart and brain sharp, and functional movement like yoga or walking, which supports lymphatic flow and insulin sensitivity. The goal isn't to be shredded, it's to age like a glacier, not a landslide. Now zoom in on stress. This one's trickier because we often treat stress like a badge of honor. But elevated cortisol over time wears down your adrenals, interferes with sleep, weakens immunity, and accelerates brain aging. In fact, chronic stress preloads the body with aging signals, priming that age 50 protein surge to arrive early and hit harder. Stress doesn't just affect how you feel, it changes how your genes express themselves. Practices like mindfulness, deep breathing, breath work, therapy, and even just boundaries, say no more often, seriously, are all part of the strategy. You don't have to become a monk, but you do have to stop pretending that white-knuckling your schedule is the same thing as thriving. Sleep is another non-negotiable. It's during sleep that your body clears toxic waste from the brain, repairs cellular damage, and recalibrates your hormones. Skimping on it in your 40s isn't just bad for focus, it's an express ticket to earlier decline. Prioritize deep, consistent sleep cycles. Ditch screens before bed. Eat your last meal early, and if needed, consider supplements like magnesium glycinate, glycine, or low-dose melatonin under guidance. And then, if you've nailed the foundations, there's the frontier of anti-aging science. We're not talking sci-fi immortality. We're talking small molecules and protocols that modulate biological age. Senolytics like quercetin or Physidin are showing promise in clearing out senescent cells, the zombie-like cells that accumulate with age and secrete inflammatory junk. NAD+ precursors like NMN or NR are being studied for their role in restoring mitochondrial health. Rapamycin and metformin, both once used for other conditions, are now being investigated as age-delaying drugs in clinical trials. These aren't plug-and-play tools yet, but they may become part of a personalized anti-aging stack within the next decade, and early intervention might matter more than we thought. So, if you're approaching 50 and wondering whether it's too late to slow things down, the answer is no. But if you're not yet 50, the real power is in starting now. This is the window. Before the proteins spike. Before the systems creak. Before you wake up and realize that all the just tired and just busy symptoms were actually your body waving a white flag. There's no magic bullet for aging, but there's a roadmap. Eat like your cells are listening. Move like your mitochondria matter. Rest like your brain depends on it. And treat stress like the aging accelerant it is, not a character trait. Start with these, and you may find that by the time 50 rolls around, your biology still thinks you're 35. Or, at least, refuses to act its age.